Hello, everyone. Mr. Barden here. This is, again, a short video going over the plethora of projects that will be happening during the month of January for my sound design course. This one is going to be going over project number 7, which is to create an instrument demo recording. Now, I'm breaking this down specifically because of this project, because what does that even mean offhand? So, what this project will be is essentially you are not the performer or the instrumentalist or anything. You are the recorder, the audio engineer. And this one is probably going to be probably on the more difficult side of these projects. So what you will be doing is creating essentially a demo track or a demo tape, if you've heard that phrase before, for another person. Now, historically speaking, gosh, that makes me feel old saying that, a demo tape is, a rough cut of a song or a solo or something made by a musician or a band in order to sell what they're making to someone who wants to make more music with them. Usually nowadays they're digital files, but in the past they were done on CDs, and then before that cassette tapes, and even then that overlap because things are very cheap and standard. But what you're going to be doing is recording someone else performing music. That's the core of this. So what you'll have to do is make the best quality recording you can make. As someone who's done this kind of thing before, I can tell you that if your demo sounds like ass, no one wants to take it and make it into something. The better your demo tape, the better your chances of getting someone to like your music. So what you'll be doing is recording a solo person, doing a something on an instrument, approximately 1 to 2 minutes. You can have someone play an instrument that I've brought in, and I've listed those here. You can have them bring in an instrument that they, can play and do, and I recommend that. And essentially, again, you'll be recording and doing all of the editing and all of that. Again, you as the recorder will not be the person recording. This isn't always the case in the real world, but in our hypothetical world in our classroom, again, you are the recording artist. Well, if we're going to add a narrative to it, we'll say, hey, my buddy Jim was like, hey, can you record me playing my trombone for a audition? And you say, sure, I can do that. Not that that's happened to me before with a person named Jim, but we'll be doing that. So what you will be doing is setting up the recording session based off of whatever instrument that they want to perform or have it do in order to get the best recording you have the ability to make. That's what we're going with there. What you'll need to do from that point is to, make the raw recordings. Take several recordings that you can do. Again, you'll be doing this in the booth. So check out that video I attached to the main intro details bit right here, or just read through it. But you'll have to record booth time in order to get this done, which is why it's one of the more difficult ones, because you need to have booth time for it to record this and record all the raw stuff. Definitely, pro tip, get at least 2, I recommend 3, but at least 2 takes of this. That way you have multiple bits to work with. From there, I recommend go ahead and attaching the raw files to this so you don't forget, because I want you to turn in the raw files. But that's not all. That's not all. So raw files are great, but in just about any scenario, there's going to be some kind of editing, effects. You're going to touch up the audio, because again, your goal is to get this other person to spend a bunch of money on you, make these recordings, sell the albums, do all the bits. So you want it to be as good as you can make it. That's why it's, again, the more complex project down at the bottom of the list. Once you have the raw audio files, then, again, you can go ahead and turn them in at the beginning so you don't forget about it, but you're then going to touch up all of the audio. So make sure that the levels are good. There's no clipping. Everything's loud enough. You're going to normalize it to start with. From there, you can play around with EQ, compression, reverb, whatever things you want to make it as accurate to your initial goal, of recording whatever the performer wants. So again, you make it how they want to make it. If you're working together on this and they can say, do whatever you want, then you can do whatever you want. But if they have a specific goal in mind, then, work with them. That is part of being a producer and a, audio engineer, is working with the performer to get what they want. That is the gig. Okay, rant over. So again, utilizing effects. I've listed a handful there that you'll probably want to use. Your goal is to make it sound as good as possible, despite it not being a full song. And you'll be turning in the raw audio, the edited audio. So again, those two different versions so we can compare them, as well as a Google document. And this Google document, again, like pretty much all of these other projects, you're going to be keeping a few things right there, keeping it under 2 paragraphs, nice and simple. That's not the important part. The important part in this one is the audio, but pretty much just explain what you did to enhance the audio. Maybe you only normalized it, which, is kind of cheap. In the real world, you're almost always going to have a handful of things, and I'm not going to give away the answer in this video, but there's always going to be a little bit more than you think there's going to be there. But just list out what you did. So maybe you did, level adjustments. Maybe there's some automation in there that we wouldn't know about, some reverb, some just a little bit of echo or delay, or stuff like that. What did you do to make it sound good? And keep it simple, keep it there. Anything else that you might think we would need to know, generally 2 paragraphs or less. That's what we need to have there. And that's the short of it, is you're recording someone else performing something and then making that as high quality as you can, turning in both the raw and the edited version and the little Google document that I just went on a 45-second rant about. So that's all of that for this one. And I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say. You just heard my parents' dog in the background. So I'll be ending this one here, and I'll see you all the next time that I see you.